Where are you from?
I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
And what was going on around that time? What were you doing?
It was April 20th, 2010, and the oil spill happened, and we were working because there was a lot of work from people from the Haitian earthquake, and we were feeding them, and it went from 12, 13 weeks, every day you working, to 6 months where we didn't work at all. The channels were closed, ships were afraid to come in. Boats that were supposed to be there the next day, next 2 weeks, didn't show up. Week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, 4 weeks passed, a month. Now you 2 months and still hadn't passed, and 3 months passed, and they finally get one ship in or whatever, and it was like real devastating on the economy because everybody was trying to go to work, but you couldn't work. You didn't know what you were gonna have because you didn't know if you were gonna lose your property. Because the oil spill was, it ended up being the worst one in the world. But they had oil slicks everywhere. Animals were dying. That went on for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, where they.
So you got friends in the other industries,
Yeah.
like the fishing.
Fishing industry, shrimp industry.
What did you see going on with that?
Oh, they had shrimp that were the normal shrimp that came out of Louisiana. You could tell they had oil in all the disbursement in them and everything like that. And dolphins was dying and all kind of things. Dolphins still die out there.
They were washing up, people found.
Birds. And mentally, you got to wonder what's going on. To where that's a lot of oil that came ashore. And Louisiana was hit more than the rest of them, but it's still everybody was affected by it because the whole Gulf was closed.
Did you try to get a job in any of that cleanup effort?
Yeah, I tried to get a job in the cleanup, but the rate of pay, and they wasn't hiring that many people. They were trying to hire people out of a certain little town where it happened at and all this and everything, but they had people that went to work, and now they're getting sick.
Did you know any of those people?
Yeah, I know a couple of longshoremen that they got to take tests now and go keep taking tests and everything like that because all the chemicals they were exposed to.
And when did you decide to make a claim? How did you put that together?
I put a claim together. It was like within the first month and a half. No work. We went to BP, and BP turned us all down. Ended up getting a lawyer, and they still, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating. They tell you this and tell you that, and then you don't know when you're gonna get paid. You don't know. It's been over 2 years. You lose 6 months' work.
It has been 2 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years at least now.
Yeah, 2.5 years now.
So we're going into 2013, right? And is this supposed to move through court? What's the latest on it?
The court didn't settle. BP's supposed to settle, but fishermen, longshoremen, we haven't got no money.
Well, the public is being told that BP has put out a lot of money to recompensate.
And BP ought to give everybody in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Florida $5,000, $10,000 just for the inconvenience. Every citizen was affected.
So they've been stolen on it, it seems, and they're not paying.
Yeah, well, they say they paying, but they ain't paying. No money's going out.
So for your type of loss in your business, it was mostly loss of work, wasn't it?
It was loss of work. But in the loss of work, that meant my insurance wasn't covered, and I didn't get all the hours that I needed for my vacation check and all this or whatever. It cut me a lot of money.
And what did the state tell you?
The senators and all the representatives down there said there was nothing they could do about the spill. There was nothing they could do about us losing money. And, as longshoremen, and, it was various ports, they were shut down complete.
Those industries, yeah.
Yeah, New Orleans, it was completely shut down.
What about federal? Well, FEMA does give you something, doesn't
it? FEMA didn't give nothing. It was a natural disaster created by man.
Are you being told what's going to be the end result? What is going to be the end of this court process?
No, haven't been told.
So it could go on for another year, 2 years? You don't know?
Don't know. And giving them the information they asked for, and then they ask for more information and more information. It's like they're trying to wait you out and collect all the money for themselves,
Have you heard of any instances of people just give up or people trying something different? Is there anything else that someone can do?
We recovering now. Louisiana is recovering, but if a hurricane comes through it again, then all the disbursement is going to come up off the bottom of the water.
That's what we ought to hear about, because as far as the actual spill, all that material, they're also not telling us the truth.
No, they showed up.
They hired people to clean up, but is that just a cover-up?
It was a cover-up. It was.
For sure.
I know people that went to work and they said they were putting sand on top of all.
So they didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
They didn't take it anywhere. They didn't recover it.
They recovered some.
They recovered some.
Yeah, but they covered up.
They sucked it off the top. But then this dispersant, how does that work?
Makes the oil into a ball, and the ball will sink down into the water where it's not at the surface. And like the last hurricane that came through here, it picked it up off the bottom and brought it on shore exactly where they said the oil it was gone and not coming back again and this and that and everything. And they proved it was from the BP spill.
So wasn't there an agency like the EPA or somebody or someone in the state who would tell them don't do that once
They told them
that was
not to
known?
use the disbursement, and they wasn't worried about the fines they were gonna get, according to what the local news was saying down there and everything like that. Because that's why they kept spreading the disbursement.
So they just constantly kept doing it for so long and until it was going off the surface,
Yeah.
so no one could see it. But it's in the water,
It's in the
and
water.
it's under.
It's
When it
under-
washes
it's under
up,
the surface.
a lot of it that washed up is now covered on the beach,
Mhm.
but you could dig for it. And now storms or anything like that can bring it up again
Yes.
from that level where it is, the depth.
And you know, it's you covering up a beautiful country all down there, and the whole coast. You know, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. Had a friend of mine. He went down to Florida after he had a vacation booked already.
Hmm.
He said he couldn't even go on the beach because of the chemicals that were coming up on the beach where he was. You know, that was like in the first 3 months of the oil spill. You know, that's why they saw cover up was better than fix.
Hmm.
And that's the basic problem with the government nowadays too.
Hmm.
They cover everything up, but they don't want to fix it.